Hello, beautiful, and welcome to the Finding Fertility podcast. I'm Monica, your mentor in uncovering the hidden layers of your fertility journey. Together, we'll discover the right path for you within the 6 essential steps to creating the family of your dreams. We'll ditch the overwhelm, tune into your intuition, and build a vibrant foundation for your fertility. Whether it's through gut health, subconscious healing, or energetic alignment, you can unlock your body's natural power to get and stay pregnant. Your fertility journey is all about radical responsibility and deeply believing that your body is on your side. It's time to stay consistent, embrace trust, surrender, and create the transformation you deserve. Finding Fertility does not diagnose, prescribe, or treat any fertility issues. What we do is empower you to take control of your health by uncovering the root causes holding you back. Let's do this together. Happy Friday, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of Finding Fertility. I am your host, Monica Cox, and I am completely honored you are here with me, becoming the conscious mama you were born to be. Today we have a cut and paste, let's say that, to preserve the confidentiality of this breakthrough session that I had, but I think it is such a powerful session. We are hyper focusing on the thyroid and the 2 areas physically and energetically of why the thyroid gets affected. Now, you don't need a full-blown thyroid diagnosis to listen to this episode, okay? I'm just gonna say that here now. Please, please, please do not go, no, I don't have a thyroid issue. I don't need to listen to this. You are gonna pick up some wisdom from this, and you can actually follow along with the frequency part and the emotion and energetic part, because we are talking about something that I'm going to go out on a pretty short limb here and say 96% of you are dealing with a perfectionism problem, a type A, and not being seen, not using your voice, not being heard. This is just, unfortunately, I think what most of us went through as little girls, young women, into our adulthood. And as much as we're fierce and motivated and powerful, we are just a hologram projection of the patterns that we run of our past until we stand up and change them. So, the link in here too, there's a blog post that I was talking about. It is live. It's not it's not in the editing room anymore. So if this is something that you want a little bit more information on as well, that link is down in the show notes. And as always, if this resonates with you, if you're waiting to the end of these episodes, there is a link that you can connect with me, and even more so, jump into a breakthrough session, a paid one. You can choose your date and your time. The free ones are definitely more limited, or jump into fertile energetics. You guys heard me talk about this course a few weeks ago. When I'm telling you that this is more life-changing than just seeing 2 pink lines, just getting pregnant, this is really who I'm talking to now. Obviously, fertility and dealing with the struggle is not close to my heart. It is my heart. It is my journey. So this is who I am here to serve. But also I know that you are all going to become mamas. And if we are not doing the more core inner work, I know for a fact your patterns are just going to show up in motherhood, because once again, I've lived it. I am living it. I'm sharing my wisdom and my truth and my experience because I don't want you guys to have to go through the long struggle of fertility issues and the cost of IVF and miscarriages and all those things. I really am here to protect you as much as I can from making your journey any longer. but more so with hindsight now, I'm here to really help you guys shift into conscious, powerful mamas that you're gonna just be breaking these generational cycles and these patterns that potentially can be keeping you stuck. Because remember, everything is energy, so these emotions and these frequencies can literally, not literally, they do show up in your physical world, but more so when you're uncovering all this on your way to motherhood, whether that's your first, second, or third child, I can promise you, hand on heart, that you will become a better mother, a better woman, and not better, but the version that you were truly meant to be here in this lifetime on this planet. And that is my sole mission in life and why I show up for you guys the way I do here on the podcast. And okay, I'm rambling. So, without further ado, let's get to today's episode.
And the fear, right?
Mhm.
Like, you think just because it hasn't happened the way you think it's going to happen, then you need that medical assistance.
Yeah.
And that medical assistance is always going to be there for you. They're
Yeah.
not going anywhere. And the thing that I say is that, you know, when you're ready for medical assistance, going into it more empowered is gonna, you're gonna see better results too, where the rate of success, like if people actually really stopped and thought about the statistics, like you wouldn't do it. Like if it was heart surgery or like something, you'd
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
okay, no, this is crazy. But but yeah, it's just the way everything functions now. So okay, the only physical thing that came up was maybe a little bit of thyroid issue. And with the nodules, are you kind of hyper or lower? Is there any kind of talk of like, is it overactive? Is it underactive? You're just in the normal range.
Yeah.
Is that normal range like the Western Medical Society range or the functional medicine side of it? So, with the thyroid, what usually happens in Western medicine is that they won't think it's an issue until your numbers are out of range. But on a functional side, we're looking at like a range this way. And when we're dealing with fertility issues, that's kind of one of the biggest red flags if you are just even being monitored on thyroid, like just, checkups and stuff, is that that could be one of the root causes of why fertility is like being a struggle for you. Um, you have access to the workshop, right? Have you seen that you have that
Mhm.
access to the workshop? Inside that workshop, there's like a whole little mini thyroid thing and it has those levels. So I want you to see if you can kind of compare where you're at because so many people get underdiagnosed and I don't ever want to say it's like too late, but it's very like far gone because if they would have just had those smaller ranges and actually tested for antibodies and where the immune system is, you would see way earlier on before you have all these major symptoms and you need medication that the thyroid was, you know, like could have used some TLC and not medication. I mean, yes, there's going to be a certain point that medication is going to be needed. But on the holistic side, what can I be doing to support my thyroid? So with this, it's never like I'm never looking at your ovaries or your uterus, right? Where you're looking where else is that root cause. On the physical side, sometimes the thyroid, like I'm almost kind of like, yes, it's so easy. Okay, let's go. Right? Because like once you know, it's like, all right, let's go. Um, so I know you've done a few diet and lifestyle things. With the thyroid on a physical level, it is gut health. And you will continue to do that. So with my gut healing journey, the main things that most people miss is that you'll compare yourself to like your worst, right? So you'll so say this is the ability of getting and staying pregnant. So it's not perfection, it's not any of that, but you can heal all the way to here and feel like you could not fault my health when I got to here, but I still couldn't even get pregnant with IVF because the healing line was still way over here. And it was just literally by I had a lot of inflammatory foods that were healthy that I was still eating. And because all these health issues like went away, I was like, no, like I'm so much better. And I'm eating clean. Like you cannot fault my diet. So when it comes to gut healing, it is twofold, just making sure you are doing the right things for you and then that time, right? The gut will heal naturally on its own. You don't, need huge, huge supplements unless you're like starting your journey and you just want to like go hyper speed, right? But
Mm-hmm.
getting the liver, the bone broth, all the foods that are going to help with that gut lining, that is the key to thyroid health. It's directly linked to your gut health. So keep going on that and just making sure that you are doing the right things for you. You're staying consistent with it. It is a quick fix, but it's not as quick as some might think. It can
Mm-hmm.
take 3 to 6 months to
Yeah.
see the results. But then we're talking about, okay, you've got to that certain area. Now we're now growing eggs in this healthy environment. So some people like fall off the wagon. Well, I tried that for 3 to 6 months. It didn't work. Well, the way that fertility, it trickles down. So yeah, you're here there, but now we need that to like nourish the cells and do all that kind of stuff. So you're already on a huge head start with that. Do you feel like there's anything that you don't understand or you're frustrated with or in regards to the gut health? So what you'll want to look at on that test, and I actually have a blog post like sat in the edit room. uh, about the difference of testing for IgG and other testing because a lot of these cheaper, I don't want to say cheaper, more affordable tests, they literally test IgG, which is just a reaction to what your blood is doing at that moment in time. It's not um, a real accurate inflammation is really caused by these foods over a long period of time. So I'll get that out and I'll send it to you. Um, because what I see is a lot of people are like, no, I have this food sensitivity test, it's fine. And I'm like, nah, that are you seeing the results you want? And they're like, no. Like, okay, well, that is just not a good enough test. Um, okay. So going with the food sensitivity, which is good because sometimes with the food sensitivity test, it is a snapshot in time, just like every single other test out there, right? And it's of your past, not of your future. So these tests can actually change. But what I think is really helpful for a fertility journey, it's like I know what I'm intolerant to right now, and that's all
Mm-hmm.
that matters because I just need
Mm-hmm.
3 to 6 months. And then when I start, moving forward with my life and things can change, I'll know. I'll be able to feel it. I'll be more in tune with my body. My body will be at a higher level so it can tolerate more. But if I consume too much of something, my body will tell me and I'll know the difference. Okay, so on the more like energetic side of
Mm-hmm.
thyroid issues, I guess it kind of depends if it's under or over. But so usually with like Hashimoto's, it reflects like a self-attack, perfectionism, okay, like suppressed self-expression,
Yeah.
and if you've listened to me long enough, you know this stems from your past. It
Yeah.
it literally has nothing to do with trying to conceive or fertility. like you don't have to, if you don't want to say anything, don't say anything. This is all really just to like get those like motors like running in your head. Like, okay, let's look over there. We need to focus on the root cause of what's going on an energetic level too. Because what I found with my journey is my fertility journey was all physical, really. Like, yeah, I slowed down, I did some mindset, I did some meditation and stuff, which was all vital, but I didn't know. So all the energy and energetics of it just completely, it's my mom. Sorry. I was like perfect and like I had my two kids and like I had my dream life and I felt like shit. Like all of it just came crashing down on me and I didn't realize like, yeah, there's a lot of energy of why these things even happen in the first place. When I like started diving into like the energetics behind my high natural killer cells, I was like, oh yeah, that was me. Yeah, check, check, check. And even though like in our brains we want to like make it scientific and tangible and we want to consciously know, and my husband's kind of slowly getting on board with this, and I was just like, you gotta just think about everything is energy. And
Hmm.
wherever that energy is coming from, whether you ate something crappy or you got exposed to like mold or the emotions over the decades, it all just reacts to a similar way. And because the emotions aren't physical, right? We can't like see them. And because of our
Hmm.
society has been so like repressed with the emotions, that it's now everyone is kind of realizing, okay, we have all the physical knowledge. Like we know these things, but why am I still feeling like crap? Why am I still running those patterns that I'm running? So, with the perfectionism, the suppressed self-expression, it's really usually tied to like not feeling safe to be fully seen or heard. And I would just ask, does that resonate with, your past of what kind of has pattern for you? Okay. Um, is there a moment in time that you can feel in your past not feeling safe?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you feel that like deeply in your body? Like if you shut your eyes and you saw that play out, like you don't even have to tell me, right? I don't need to know anything. I just need you to be able to get into that feeling.
Hmm.
Um, could you do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you want to feel about that situation? Right? Because we can't go back and change the situation, but the reason the situation is still impacting our physical reality is because we're holding on to the emotion tied to it. So all we have to do, geez, okay, okay. My body is like lighting up. Um, all we have to do is, all you have to do, I don't do anything, I'm just the facilitator here, is allow yourself to feel that emotion, honor it, let whatever comes up in your body, wherever you feel it, whatever emotion comes up, and then you release it from your body. So you can literally, if you give it a color, a feeling, you just visualize and feel that sensation leave. But the next step is bringing in what you want. That's the missing piece. And this is why therapy, you can't mindset your way out of the emotions and frequencies. You have to alchemize them yourself. Sometimes they do. I've been in session where we haven't done anything and we both felt it. I was like, "Whoa, did you feel that?" She's like, "Yeah, I felt that." It can be that simple, but a lot of times we're just not we're in our brains too much, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Sometimes we just want to hold on to it because it's safe to us, right? So how this situation of feeling unsafe, how do you want to feel about it? Okay. So we got to go more positive with it. So taking care of, what would be like the opposite of not worried or not feeling safe, taken care of. Okay. Go even more positive with it. Okay. So love is a really strong one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let me get some other emotions for you to feel in your body of those. Okay. So the opposite of all that, deeply loved, belonging, safe is an obvious. Belonging, safe, trust. When you think of this situation, can you picture yourself as that little girl?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you could say one thing to her in emotion wise, like love, safety, cherished, valued, seen, secure, um, peace, what would you want to say to her in that moment? I'm not sure seen is an emotion, but could be. It's more like a felt expression. Okay, so let's tie it. Okay, so when I say these words, whatever one feels most connected, okay? Validation, appreciation, acknowledgement, belonging, relief, trust, validation. Okay, perfect. Okay. All right. Let me see. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna just get into a simple whole brain state. You can do this sitting down. So what I want you to do is just close your eyes and you're gonna have as much time as you need. And I want you to take yourself back to that situation, that little girl. Let whatever visualization, emotions, feelings come up and allow them to come up and be seen. They want to be felt. Sit with it as long as you want, and then envision that leaving your body. Then you want to bring in that being seen, that validation, and sit with that emotion and bring it in to wherever you were feeling it in your body as well. All right, so you can unravel all of your wrists and your ankles, and then just put your fingertips together and just give yourself, a good 10 seconds to have a big breath in. Nice. Is there anything you want to say about it or share? You don't have to share anything.
Um,
Yeah. I definitely felt like a flare like in the throat area, just like this burning sensation during it. So yeah, that is, what the thyroid is all about energetically, right? And you have decades of just this like suppression around it. And the more you tap into really healing that time and that little girl, like, I don't know how much work you've done, but when I first started doing this stuff, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have one inner child. And I didn't realize, man, they like stack up. They're like every year, like at
oh
one
yeah.
point, like I was like, there's a whole line of us. I was like, oh my goodness. Um, no one prepared me for that. But the more work you do with that, time frame of yourself, that literally that what's happened is that's just imprinted in your nervous system, and that creates your hologram, right? That creates your reality, your subconscious and your nervous system. You're just on repeat auto. And so the other missing piece a lot of people don't talk about is now when we shift the energetics, the emotions, and all that, you have to bring in the physical side of it as well. Okay, so what is there that you can do for yourself to show up for that being seen, for that validation, right? Because you have to do it for yourself, right? Your mom can't validate you anymore. Whether she's changing or not, right? Like we can only hope our
Mhm.
parents will
Yeah.
grow with us, but we can't rely on that. So we have to do that for ourselves. So is there something that is like right off the top of your head that you can think of that might be that's like your little homework assignment that's the only thing I want you to focus on is like, okay, for the next week or two, I'm going to focus on being seen, showing up, using my voice.
I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode and you have found a little nugget of knowledge in here and can apply it to your own journey right now, today, over the weekend when you have the time. Next week, we have another special guest, Jenna, who is a functional diagnostic nutrition practitioner herself, but also she is finally realizing that all the doing, all the knowledge is keeping her stuck from conceiving her second baby. And she actually had her own fertility breakthrough session with me. So I'm really excited to have her on and have her share wisdom from someone who has all the knowledge and is still in the thick of it herself and has to apply these things to a fertility journey and not and to motherhood and to entrepreneurship because we are, multi-dimensional women here. It's just not one thing. So have a great weekend and we'll see you next week for another episode. Thank you once again for tuning in and becoming the conscious mama you were born to be. Remember, I wasn't some magical unicorn who stumbled into fertility success. I stayed consistent, I put in the work, and I made it happen. And guess what? You can too. And I have something for my loyal podcast listeners, but here's the key. This is only for women who are feeling burnt out, frustrated, and stuck in the cycle of endless research. And you're at a point where you are screaming, I have tried everything. Why isn't this working? This only works for women who are ready to take a radical responsibility for their journey and start listening to their body's innate wisdom. Because deep down, you know you can heal and achieve your ultimate goal. If that's not you yet, that's okay. Not everyone is ready yet to show up with ease, deeply connect to their energy, unlock subconscious patterns, and listen to their body's ability to come into full coherence. But for those who are ready, I'm offering something I only do with my paying clients, and this is a fertility breakthrough session. This is the first thing I do, even before I start really deeply working with someone in a coaching package. It's a deep dive session where we look at exactly where you are right now, what's keeping you stuck, and the easy shifts that can change everything. But fair warning, these sessions are very limited and go fast. So if you're interested in checking out my superpower for uncovering exactly what's been overlooked, jump into one of these free calls. They're deep, they're intuitive, and they're game-changing. The only way you can access this is if you actually personally message me. You can do it on your favorite platform, IG, TikTok, or at my personal email, monica@findingfertility.co. Not .com, because they wanted $3,000 for the M with just one word. And that word is dreams, obviously, DREAMS. And I'll make sure you get that link right away. Remember, this transformation happens when you stay committed to yourself. Trust your body, follow your intuition, make it possible. The links that you need are down below. And if you are still here and you absolutely love this podcast, please take some time and leave me a review and help other women like you find this podcast to get the support they need. Help a sister out. Leave a review today.